Hi, I'm Peach. I'm here at Storyhouse Studios. I'm an artist, activist, and radio host, and I make contemporary soul R&B music. And this is my Stories Out. I started music when I was about 7. I actually wanted to play the drums initially, but found out that I couldn't really coordinate my hands and feet at the same time to save my life. I ended up sort of dabbling with singing and songwriting. As I've gotten older, I realised that actually it was really inherently a part of me to write poetry and write about how I was feeling and my experiences in life and put them to melody. I would describe my sound, I'd say it's very much on the side of contemporary soul R&B. I listen to a lot of hip hop, so I think that comes through. Love jazz, so that also comes through in my sound, but yeah, it's a bit of an eclectic mix. Yeah, so I'm learning to DJ at the moment. I wouldn't call myself a DJ yet, but I can push the buttons at the right times, if you know what I mean. More like a radio host, radio DJ. I got into that over the last sort of year, really, so I'm quite new to it. I basically was working for a Brighton-based community station called Platform B. Shout out, love ya. It gave me the opportunity to have the aux cord for an hour. Yeah, I am endorsed by Marshall now. I'm actually yet to do like an official announcement post about that. It's given me the confidence more than anything that I'm doing an all right job because it's a hard industry to be in. And I think when you create art and it's something that's so close to you and it's so personal, it is one of those things that you kind of come into contact with a lot. You know, is this good? Is this valid? Are people going to like it? I think that's so natural and normal to have those feelings, especially when you're relatively new to it like I am. I'm absolutely gassed about it because they're a household name. And like I had a Marshall amp as a kid. It's just wicked. It feels really, really cool to be involved with such a cool company who actually also really, really care about grassroots artists. Coming up to 2 months ago, I released a single called Inertia. It's the first song of a new body of work that I've been working on. It's a bit of a diss track to your own self-doubt and procrastination. Inertia itself is kind of this concept in physics where something that isn't in motion is much harder to be in motion if it's stagnant. You know, if something's already moving, you've got that momentum, you've got that drive. I felt like a bit of a hypocrite marketing it, to be fair. For the last few months, 6 months probably, if I'm being honest, I felt like I've been in this really transitional period of my life, you know, post-university, entering the world as a professional musician, trying to make an income. I've been living at home with family, trying to save up. And it's felt like everything has been quite far away. There's been days where I've really, really been doubting whether I can keep doing it. And I think that's very normal for artists at this stage of their career. I've been reminding myself that being stagnant, you know, inertia, that lack of movement, momentum is not my friend. And realistically, the best thing I can do is keep putting one step in front of the other and just keep going. I went into the studio with a good friend of mine, Taka. We had 2 days booked, and the first day I just felt like my brain was so foggy. I couldn't hear my melodies like I usually do, because usually they're just pouring out of me and I can't stop, and I'm there with my pen like scribbling frantically. It really knocked me, and it does happen. I think it's really natural to have writer's block and to feel like in those moments that, you know, what's wrong with me? Why can't I get this today? I woke up the next day and thought, do you know what? I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna write a song about not being able to write a song. And that's why the track has got that kind of energy and that attitude, like, all right then, mate, watch me. The first sort of spark was the chorus. So it's like, I bleed for this moment, won't stop till I hold it down. That bit I'd already actually written like months prior. A lot of the time when I'm writing, I don't really know what I'm talking about as I'm writing it until I actually go back and look at it and I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. When I sat down in the studio the following day after having the writer's block, that I thought, do you know what? I'm hearing that right now over this instrumental. I'm hearing that chorus. And that fits perfectly with that energy that I'd come into the studio with, like, let's just write a song about not being able to write a song, about writer's block, about self-doubt, about procrastinating because of that doubt. let's just talk about how I want to grab this present moment. She's gold and she holds me like sun on my skin. I love that lyric. I love the sun. And I talk about the sun and the stars and, you know, these beautiful, natural, warm lights. Beautiful, natural sources of power and light because they really inspire me. One of the next tracks that I want to release is called Issues. It's fun, it's boppy, and it's like, yeah, very soul, but also super contemporary and like, yeah, it's just fun. Next stages for me is to put more music out, to start gigging. I've got a couple of gigs coming up throughout the summer. But definitely the back end of this year, I will be putting on some Peach gigs, which I'd love to see people at. I mentioned that I'm a radio host as well, and that's a big part of where I want to go career-wise alongside my artistry. I'd love to be doing more radio. I've been doing a few interviews myself, and I really like doing that. So I'd love to connect with more people in the creative sectors. Eventually, I want to do a tiny desk. That would be lovely. I've got some big goals that I'm definitely working towards, you know, over the next few years. Once again, lovelies, I've been Peach, and this is My Stories Out.